Hello mates, welcome back to my channel. Today I am back into Build Battle and I have the balloon to do. How to make a balloon. A balloon is the theme, how to make it. So thought of what to do. Of course it's a balloon, so I'm gonna have to make a balloon. But do I want to make a simple balloon or do a little bit difficult and maybe make a hot air balloon or something else than just a regular balloon? So I thought about it and I went with a regular simple balloon. That's it. Pretty simple, pretty regular balloon. Nothing too much different, but it is a little bit different. I want to make sure that the balloon has the shape of a balloon and look like an actual balloon. So that's what I'm make sure I want to do. The first thing I did is to make the string. The string of a balloon is pretty important. I have to make sure that it is curved and it is pretty much flowy. Not sure that's a good way to say it, but um, just um, I don't know how you really say it, but it looks like a string that is flowing around. Then after that, I have to make sure I have to make the balloon and the shape of a balloon. So that's what I'm going to do. So right now, I'm making the balloon. I want to make sure that I can make the best balloon ever. Make sure I have the shape of the balloon, how the balloon looks, the shape of it, and how it looks pretty simple. I want to make sure it is curved. It looks curved as much as possible, and it is an oval shape. I want to make sure I get the shape down. That's my most important thing I want to do. So I know making a balloon is pretty simple, so I'm gonna spend as much time as I can to actually make the balloon and making the shape of a balloon. I want to spend as much time as I can to do it. That's why I spend quick time making the string. Now onto the actual balloon. I'm spending as much time as I can to make the shape of a balloon and making sure that I get everything good about making the shape of a balloon. Make sure it is really look like an actual balloon and how it is looks pretty cool. Yeah. So I've spent so much time right now making the shape of a balloon and I didn't really realize something. So I realized that with making the string, I want to make sure the string looks pretty long too. I want to make sure it is flying, and also it is pretty long of a string. But problem is that didn't really notice about the height of the string, right? The string is really tall, very very tall, and I want to make sure the balloon is also tall too. But I realized that I kind of made the string a little bit too tall, right? A little bit too tall. And I like how the string looks. It looks really nice. I'm really happy with the string. But since it is a little bit too tall, I was not able to make the balloon tall. The reason why I was not able to make the balloon tall is because the height limit. You can see there, I have reached the height limit, so I cannot make the balloon. I have to take down everything that I did, that I started with, take down everything, take it all down, and take down some of the string, and I start from over again. I'll just start from nothing again, because at least for the balloon, the string is about done, but the balloon I have to really start over, and that was pretty big of a problem. You can see that I have a little bit more than half of the time left, a little bit more than half. Right, that's still that's pretty bad. Pretty bad. I should have really started on the balloon about 30 seconds into the actual build battle, but now they started from a little bit more than halfway to the build battle because I had to take down everything because I reached the height limit and I do not want a half a balloon flying. I want an actual balloon flying, and that was a big problem. And I spent so much time on making the shape and caring about the shape and counting up every blocks, making sure every block is the certain amount of height, some amount of space, and just really accurately count. Spent so much time on that that I just have to not really think about the just can't really think about anything, and the main thing I have to do is just make the balloon, and that's my main thing to do. So what I want to do is to make the balloon, and that's what I did. So I just make the balloon squirrel. I want to make sure I could actually have a balloon than trying to make a fancy balloon that's not going to be finished. So main thing right now is just worrying about the time and seeing if I could finish the balloon as fast as I can. I don't really care about much, only thing is to see if I could finish it. I do want to make sure that the balloon looks pretty good and is about pretty tall. I want to make sure the balloon's pretty tall, looks pretty good, nothing really uneven with it. Everything should be pretty good, pretty even, and pretty tall too. So that's the one thing I really want to make sure, not the shape or anything else. I just want to make sure that I can finish it. That's all I want to do, is just to make sure that I can finish the balloon. And with me just washing to make the balloon, I actually finished it pretty fast. Very, very fast than I thought. Thought I wasn't really gonna finish it, but I actually did finish it pretty fast and have enough time, a good amount of time to add some detail, right? So with me finishing up the balloon, the square balloon, then it's time for me to do a little bit more detail to the balloon, right? So of course this is a square balloon right now. Of course it cannot be square, it has to be an oval. It has to be an oval, so I have to make sure that the square balloon is now an oval. I have to take down the corners. The corners, I'm trying to make sure it is a an oval, right? There's no corners, cannot be no corners. Also, another thing I want to do is fix a little bit of the string. Just trying to fix a little bit of the string a little bit to make sure that the string looks pretty good, since I did take a good amount of the string away when I first started this build. When I made a mistake of the height, I had to take a good amount of the string away, so I had to make sure that the string looks pretty good with the new height and a new balloon. So I had to do that. Then after that, still continuing on the corners, I want to make sure that the corners looks pretty good and it is pretty, look like a oval. Make sure to do that, and it looks pretty good. I'm really happy about this. I have a good amount of time though, a very good amount of time, so I was not really worrying about the time at all. I knew that I have a good amount of time to do some detail. I won't be able to do as much detail as I first started with, but I will still be able to do some detail to make sure that this does actually look like a balloon and it is an oval, not a squirrel. And I'm really happy about this balloon. I started off pretty strong, then made a big mistake. I had to take down the balloon. I was able to keep the string, but not the balloon. I was about halfway into the build, a little more than halfway into the build battle, right? And I just start oval, so I just go as fast as I can, and it turned out very well. I'm really happy that I was able to make a big mistake into still pretty decent build. Looks pretty good. It does look like a balloon, and I'm really happy I went with a balloon than a hot air balloon. If I was going to do a hot air balloon, it would be a big problem if I messed up. But good thing I went with a balloon, so it wouldn't be. It will still be a big mistake, but not as big mistake if a hot air balloon, if the thing I was making. A hot air balloon take, for me at least, a lot more time than a balloon. I think balloon is a lot more simpler than a hot air balloon, but that's me. This looks pretty good. Looks pretty round, pretty good, pretty nice. Do want to make sure that the top does look a little bit more round too. So not only just the bottom and the side, a little bit of the top looks pretty round too. Make sure it looks pretty good and round. And I'm really happy that I made a big mistake into an okay build. Good thing I went with a balloon. I'm really happy that this build turned out this way. Could have been a lot more terrible, but now it's pretty okay, pretty good, and I'm really happy about this. Doing a little more detail for the corner, doing a little more detail for the corner and the string. I wanted to do the string a little bit more different, but I wasn't actually able to finish fixing the string, I wanted this thing to do a little bit more different than it is right now, but I wasn't able to finish it, so it looks a little bit unfinished what it's doing, but I'm really happy about it, and let's see if I win. This is my balloon that I made in Bit Bottle. And tell me what you think about this balloon. Tell me from 1 out of 10, what would you give my balloon? From 1 out of 10. If I had to give my balloon from 1 out of 10, I'll probably give my balloon a good 7. It looks pretty good. I know I could do a lot more better, but it does look pretty good, and I did not win Bit Bottle.